Beautiful fall day in Columbus, Ohio. My name is Corey Roscoe. I'm the Ohio Director for the Humane Society of the United States, the country's largest and most effective animal protection organization. We are not connected to or affiliated with any local animal shelter or humane society. We are gathered here today to show our collective opposition to a dangerous piece of legislation making its way through the Ohio General Assembly. We represent a broad coalition comprised of staff, volunteer, supporters, and members of rescue groups, humane societies, animal protection organizations located from all over our great state of Ohio. Some of them are with us here today. We'll hear remarks from representatives from national and local humane societies, from a prominent Central Ohio veterinarian, from a member of our humane law enforcement community, and from an impassioned and avid defender of animals everywhere. We will happily take questions at the end, and we'll be around afterwards for additional interviews. On behalf of the Humane Society of the United States and our members in Ohio, we urge the Ohio House to oppose the harmful pet shop bill, Senate Bill 331. We are here to defend communities that have actively sought to prevent cruelty, whose voices, sadly, have been usurped by big business and special interest. One big business specifically, whose motto leads to the suffering of thousands of animals each year. This bill has been dubbed the Petland bill because its true purpose is to protect one corporation, Petland, who is likely the single largest contributor to animal cruelty. In a state with such a severe puppy mill problem, the last thing our elected officials should do is enact a law making it easier for puppy mills to sell their dogs in Ohio. If this bill becomes law, it will take away Ohioans' right to address local concerns with local elected officials. It will waste taxpayer money on a weak and unenforceable law, and it will demonstrate that the values of Ohioans will not be reflected by allowing a socially unacceptable and outdated business model to get the upper hand. We urge the House to not make the same mistake as the Senate did and ignore the will of the people by rushing this deplorable bill through. Oppose this bill. Oppose Senate Bill 331.
Good morning. I'm Vicki Diesner, the Midwest Legislative Director for the American Society for the Cruelty of Animals, the ASPCA. The ASPCA urges the Ohio House to oppose Senate Bill 331 and stand up for consumers who purchase unhealthy animals for large sums of money, for the victimized and vulnerable animals in puppy mills, and for our Ohio communities who have taken a stand to protect their citizens by banning the sale of puppies from puppy mills and pet stores in their cities. Senate Bill 331 is an industry-backed effort that will not reform pet stores in any meaningful way and will instead permit the continued importation of inhumanely bred puppy mill dogs into our communities. If Senate Bill 331 passes, it will reopen the puppy mill pipeline into communities like Toledo and Grove City, cities that have already taken a stand to prevent the pet industry from peddling puppy mill dogs to unsuspecting Ohioans. A survey by Lake Research Partners confirmed that 86% of Columbus, Ohio residents would not purchase a puppy from a pet store if they had the knowledge it came from a puppy mill. Yet proponents of Senate Bill 331 are defiantly trying to enact a weak regulatory framework that will all but ensure that a majority of puppies sold in Ohio come from puppy mills. Under Senate Bill 331, puppies sold in Ohio will be permitted to come from breeders who keep their breeding dogs in cages just barely big enough to turn around, like putting a beagle in a dishwasher, and stacked dangerously high upon one another for their entire lives. These dogs aren't given humane affection or playtime or even touch a blade of grass on the ground. Consumers assume that USDA inspected ensures top quality treatment, but the reality is that many USDA inspectors consistently give breeders warnings in lieu of actual citations for egregious violations. A breeder that appears to have a clean inspection report could in fact have serious violations and still source puppies to Ohio pet stores. This is a dog that we were able to take out of a puppy mill situation. This shows you the reality of the dogs that are left in these puppy mills breeding their entire lives. For those who are looking to add a dog to their family, there are a multitude of humane alternatives to choose from, including animal shelters, breed-specific rescue organizations, and responsible breeders who would never sell a puppy through a pet store. Now, local governments did what they were supposed to. They acted on the desire of their community that said, we don't want to be part of an industry that supports the cruel treatment of animals and deceives customers into buying dogs that are often sick so that a corporation can make a bigger profit. The state is now acting to undermine the will of Ohioans, not because it is what the people want, but it is because it protects large corporations profiting off of cruelty and deception. We need to be clear. Allowing pet stores to get dogs from the worst puppy mills hurts not only dogs, but it also hurts the hearts and wallets of Ohioans who buy these dogs, and the only one who benefits is the cruel pet industry. We must be a voice for these puppy mill dogs and do better for them who give us so much. Thank you.